everyone. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon or evening on your end? Aramide is the host.
My name is Aramide Balogun. If you haven't met me before, you can go and check my LinkedIn for my bio, for my profile. So let's just get right into it because we lost some time. So shout out to Penny Okunore because a conversation I had with her was what led to this session. A few days ago, we're talking about where do we draw between evil eyes, fearing for our people envying us, and actually showcasing ourselves. You know, the world is changing and it's almost becoming as if you're not online, you're not anywhere. Like if you don't have a profile online, you're not anywhere. So we had a conversation, and yesterday I just decided to put it out on my Instagram stories, and I said, why not? Let's do it live. Shout out to Doyin as well. I reached out to Doyin and I said, Doyin, this is your area now, personal branding. You're a brand transformation coach. Come and do this with me. And Doyin agreed to do this with me. And here we are today having this conversation with you. I'm going to be looking at my laptop because I have my notes here. So in case you see me looking this way, I'm still in the conversation. So if you've ever held back sharing a win because you're scared of people envious of you, or you're scared of people from your village, put a comment in the chat box. Because me, I know that I've held back multiple times, and I'm going to share one example as we go along with the conversation. So I graduated from my MBA a couple of months ago, and I remember that sometime last year, during the face-to-face session, we had like face-to-face sessions in Madrid, you know, as per Black woman, African, doing our MBA. The marketing team reached out to me and they said, oh, we want to feature you on our website. We want to feature you on our LinkedIn page. I did the photo shoots, but when I got the forms and I had to fill out my responses, you guys, I froze. I was like, ha, what if I go and fill this thing now and then somehow I don't now finish this program? Won't my enemies, won't my enemies have won? They followed up on me multiple times and I just kept dodging them. I just kept telling them tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. And that's how I never got featured. My classmates got featured. And when I saw the reach, forever and ever, if you type his name, that feature is going to come up. When I saw the reach on the school's LinkedIn page, I was like, I missed out on a massive opportunity. And so when the opportunity came to speak on behalf of my class, I was like, no way. My enemies, you guys are going to have to take a back seat on this one because I am doing it for sure. So, Doyin, have you ever had any similar situation where like you held back from sharing your win because you didn't want your enemies to win?
I think before I go ahead to start, someone was when I posted that, oh, I was going live with Aramide. Someone was like, oh, you know Aramide. I'm like, since just one. Let me come and brag.
Yeah,
And I was
so
laughing and I think I was telling someone that when we were wearing pinafore, that
man,
so those were, and if I would say before I
like
go in, it's been very long and it's just been, and so many other people here. It's been since like GS1 from Shagamu, all those dusty, crusty days in Shagamu, and we're here. And I'm just thinking to myself that it's been such a long time. And I also wanted to commend that in terms of consistency, it's something that I've seen around over the years. Even when we're in school, and I not girls from school, I look at her like, what's wrong with this girl? Can you chill? Like, I feel so intense and all of that. But now we are grown up, all of this, and I would help you. So when of that mentor of mine, I would mention his name, Mr. Nia Desanya, he had reached out to me and spoken about the person's portfolio that he wanted me to manage. I'm like, oh my God, Like, I'm just starting, and I'm not, and I looked at it years to come now that was an opportunity I missed out on. I can imagine, because to me, I was just like, oh my God, that I cannot take on that opportunity. What if I fail? What if I don't do
Yeah.
well? What if those kind of things? And like Aramide said, those were the kind of opportunities that when you look back on yourself, that, oh, I was speaking about the other time when I got back to corporate America, and I'd negotiated for my last that I was in. And I was so happy that these people were giving me. I'd negotiated. I did not realize that I did not negotiate even properly. I don't like the person who was in the role, and she was how much from the role. And she had director, and it got my because I was black. That story for another. For me, I was so grateful because of the kind of that got so far. And so I was just talking about opportunities that when you think of yourself, you don't want to position too loud. You don't want to. And I think that most of these things actually, it comes from our background as Black people.
Yeah.
The kind of things we've watched, the kind of things we know. We need a mindset shift that is so cultural. But yeah, to
It's,
answer that, I think that that's my own answer to that. So you can continue with the follow-up question.
I can totally relate with some of the things you said in terms of our cultural conditioning. I remember that sometime this week I saw a post where someone said, I don't have to show what I'm eating, I don't have to show where I am. And I think that a thin line between like showing up professionally or just bragging,
Mhm.
right? So, doing you're a brand transformation coach. What do you have to say about that? Like, does showing up necessarily have to mean that you are bragging?
So I think that if you to answer that one, showing up is not necessarily bragging. It depends on you. So for some people, when yeah, their sharing is not for bragging, but it's possible for you to share what you're sharing and it helps other people. Because like this life that we're having now, we're talking about running, we're talking about mindset. This is not us coming here to come and tell everybody, oh, this is what we are or what we are. And for Aramide going to be a president representative, she's representing a new generation. She's representing the Black race. She's representing of
Yes.
that people normally would not see on those pages. So if you post it, it's also an encouragement for somebody, you know, or somebody that doesn't even think that they have such opportunities exist.
Yeah.
And in looking at what you have, it's enough encouragement for so if I would say that I think that as service, it's something that's so important that people are that you are positioning yourself. You're actually helping people to see what's possible, and you're working for it instead of encouraging. A lot of times when you like people are encouraging. So why don't you use the press to actually position your story to the people that really value what you have? And
Yeah.
so it's not bright the way that you position just make different because brag. Can we go to the next question now?
So now let's link it to personal branding, right? I mean, you are a brand transformation coach. What's the actual cost of playing small? I know you talked about how you got an offer that you thought was, you had negotiated the best kind of offer. And when you spoke to the person who had left the role, you saw that you had changed yourself. How does our playing small impact us? Because I think sometimes we need to bring it home and really discuss how these things are keeping us limited, the real impact of playing small, just or not even showcasing anything, just because you don't want people to be envious of you or you are worried about your village people or whatever. What's the actual cost on our careers, on our lives, on us even fulfilling our purpose on earth?
Okay, if I'm going to answer that question, I think that I'll start with, well, both of us here are Christians, and most of our friends following online are Christians. So I'm just going to use the Bible. The Bible has called us the city on the hill that we cannot be hidden, and it also talks about if you light a candle, do you cover it? Of course, that's not what you do with it. And it calls you the salt of the world or the earth. If there's no salt, how do you want the food to be sweet? How do you want people's world to be better? So I think that a lot of times, like we said, there are social conditionings that actually, for me, uh, until I became an adult, and some of the things that actually helped me away from my social conditioning was I had to go to therapy. So if outside of church, outside of renewing my mind with the word of God and all of that, I had to go to therapy because I'm like, man, all these things that limit you, these things that actually just makes you feel like, oh, I cannot do it, I've arrived, or you're carrying on things that people have said over the years that actually keeps you small. But in the capacity of what we have, if you think of it, it's like it's like a balloon. If you don't inflate it, the balloon is just going to remain in the size that it is. So lots of conditioning and lots of all those kind of things, our culture, our mindset, and those things continue to keep us smaller. And I think that exposure and also association, all of those things do matter. The more people that you interact with, when you think that you've arrived and you hear what they are doing, then you just know that, oh my goodness, like what are you doing with your life and all that. So that's a way to think about it. And in saying that, first of all, I'll say that what the cost of playing small is when it comes to personal branding is that I always tell people to stop discounting themselves. What you know what you know is enough to take somebody to another level. And because it comes easy to you, don't discount it. A lot of times, most of us, we know something so well, we're excellent at it, and we just think that, oh, it's just small. I think it was of recent this year. I spoke to Aramide earlier in the month about a program that I'm in, a 1 year program that I'm in. It's a personal development program. Some of you will not pay for it because it does not give you another certification to go and boast about on LinkedIn. And that's not what it is for me. Most of the things that I invest in is for me to become a better person. So in terms of personal branding, what I would say is that society wants to condition you to shrink. But when you play small, you rob people of the clarity of the value that you actually give, and you start to blend in instead of standing out. And what God has called us to is actually to stand out in the places and the things that God has already called us to shine our light. That's the reason why God brought us here. If all of us continue to shrink, if all of us continue to play small, then how much more of the generations that are coming behind? And I always tell my friends these days that whatever you are building right now is for legacy, is for posterity. Don't think of it as only yourself. So the day that you think that you don't want to show up, the day that it's not comfortable, the day you don't want to share your win, just think of another person that is sitting somewhere. If Mrs. Aoshika, for example, doesn't talk about herself, if she doesn't talk about the things she's doing, if Tara Filadorotoye and Co, all those people that talk about whatever it is that they're sharing, how do you think that the potential of the young girls in Africa will continue? Most of us that attend the live series events, most of us that the churches we even attend in Nigeria, if they were not positioned or they were playing small and people did not found those places that actually brings you clarity and it brings you, so how do you think that we're going to begin to arrive at with the kind of society that we have in our country, that is everybody's trying to do I pass my neighbor? There's a generational mentality for you that somebody wants to keep you small. So for you to resist that, you also need to come up higher. For you to invest in yourself, for you to renew your mind, for you to work in the places where you know, associate with people that will bring you out of this crab mentality. If you're not pulling somebody here, you're there, all what you want to be talking about is people or something in your group. Oh no, there's no time for that. So like, wake up. This is the only time you have. Life is not a rehearsal. rehearsal. So we don't have the time to play small. And in terms of personal branding, you need to position yourself to speak to what value you bring and to showcase it all of the time you have the opportunity. That's the only way opportunities will come to you, and that's the only way you stop playing small. So yes.
Very spot on, doing. You know what you said about, Mrs. Tara Durutoye and Mrs. Awoshika. For a long time, I had desired to go for my MBA, but I just couldn't see the possibility. And a colleague of mine, shout out to you, Morenike, I don't know if you're watching, she posted on LinkedIn that she has started her MBA at IE Business School. And Morenike is a busy professional like me. She has 3 kids, a busy job, pastor's wife, and so much more. And when she posted it that she had started her MBA, what that did for me was it showed me that it was possible. And it showed me that all the things I was, all the things I had told myself to hold myself back, there was a way around it. I reached out to her and she said, Aramide, me and you, we are busy professional. You can do this thing. The ginger she gave me, she reviewed my essays. Even when I got scholarship, she told me, go and ask for more money. And all that started because I saw possibilities because she shared her story. If she hadn't shared her story, maybe I would still not have my MBA by now. But because she shared her story, it inspired me and it moved me, motivated me to also go for mine. So I really like what you said. Sometimes the fact that we are even holding those things back, we are we are holding someone's destiny somewhere because somebody needs to see us moving to know that it's also possible, to know that what they are aiming for is within reach. And if we don't share, how do they know? Thank you so much, Doyin. So let's go to the next question. How can we embrace visibility without it seeming like we are bragging? Because honestly, one of the things that comes to my mind, I want to share a post, throughout my maybe I shared one post to my close friends group. But you are just sharing your posts innocently, and somebody somewhere thinks you are bragging. And sometimes that thinking even holds you back from sharing. So how do we embrace visibility without it seeming like we are bragging?
I think that's such a fantastic question. So I'll say that visibility and fear, they can't dwell in the same place. It's not it's not something that can work together in. And a lot of us, most of the reason why we don't want to share. And I was thinking of it this morning, thinking through this topic. I was like, that how many times have I ever, because a lot of people will tell us that our village people, I said, these village people, is it that they don't have antenna? Is it that they don't have, the way they used to show us in those Nigerian movies, that they will go and see your future? If they need you, they know where to find you. If they are looking for you, they know what buttons to press. So it's not because you shared. Of course, there are some things that you do later gram or you do later post for or something. You don't have to share while you are building, but at least something that you have built. Now, Aramide has finished that MBA. Aramide is done. Aramide has a certificate in her hands. What's stopping you from posting it? Like, they cannot go back to undo what you've already done. So, like, every time I was just thinking of it, I was like that. I would like to know the types of them, Tony Elumelo and Co, when they are sharing something, what goes on in their mind. Because I don't think their village people are looking for them as much as they are looking for you. Reached any place. Like, like sometimes that's how I'm thinking of it, that if we're thinking of those things in that light, that your village people, I'm serious, I'm serious, Toby, your village people don't need Instagram to find you. They have antennas that they can use to find you or search for you wherever it is. They can find you in your dream, they can find you in your father's house, they can find you in your mother's house, all the places that are going for deliverance. They know where it is, they know where to find you. And if they know And he said, no, I'm not discounting. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. I know that there are some things that are spiritual. Life is very spiritual, but it is not enough for you to dwell in fear. And that is what, as in, theory itself is an oracle. Honestly, life itself is spiritual. But if the thing that fear wants to do is to hold us back, the thing that fear wants us to do is not to move forward. The things that fear wants us to do is to, and there is a way that fear can cripple your progress. There's a way that fear of the unknown. I remember, I said I was going to share that. I remember, I know that during my 40th birthday, I remember that Aramde was like that, or sometimes Aramde just sends me a message, oh, don't you've been consistent and all of that. And I thought back to when I first moved back to Nigeria after my MBA in 2015, and I started my first Evolving Woman conference. I thought to myself that if I didn't start, I just made one post. And guess who reached out to me? Sorry, I'm going to have to mention names on this live. The the owner, Gongo, the publisher of Guardian newspaper, not the reporter, not the people that are doing other things, reached out to me himself. Toke reached out to me himself, Toke Ebru, and said, we would like to support you. I'm like, wait, what? Like to support? Do you know me? Do you understand? And I thought to myself that if I'd only sat down and so many other things, I still, before I came on this life, I still got somebody that still paid for my coaching class. She's from the UK. I was looking for her name online, on LinkedIn, on everywhere. I told her during our discovery session that I looked for you everywhere. I just wanted to put a name to your face. I don't know her. I've never seen her before. She paid to say that if I let fear continue to hold me back, there are things that God drops in our hearts that we'll never fulfill in our lifetime. And like I said before, we're not rehearsing here. But if we reframe visibility, as I said before, as service, it's our service to God. It is us that we are doing the things that God has positioned us to do on this earth. And it will help other people to also help them see what is possible. All that insecurity, all that fear, and all of those things will begin to drop off us. And healthy visibility is intentional, it's curated. Every time you see people come online, that they are showing something, they are telling something, they are very calculative about whatever it is that they are showcasing. I've been sitting here since, how many times have I come online to come and talk about, oh, what I ate yesterday? If I ate it, if it's sweet, and if it's teaching a story, I'm going to use it to teach a story. I don't care what you think, whatever you think. And that fear for a little time has been something that I think that one of the things that actually, that I will say and I will give that credit to, was when I got into Covenant University and I saw the possibilities of what was possible. I was a young Muslim girl in secondary school. My mindset changed. The way I saw life really did change. And I'll share one before I go away from that story of fear. I've been telling the people in my accountability group. I invited them to my life coaching graduation. And guess what? There was something that the person who actually did organize that class said. She said the first time when they started that course, they had 35 people. The second time, they had 300 people. This year, when they took in people, they had 900 people. And guess what? That program is not less than $3,000. $3,000 times 900 people is how many? If she sat down there, if she did not market it, if she lived in fear, if she did not, and in that class, we had so many people from all over the world, because I was saying it that, see, I'm not only dealing with only Nigerians that I know. I want to expand my network. So some of these things, the reason why we do is for us to expand our networks away from just being a local champion. You need to, like, yeah, Cheryl said, God, I beg thee. Like, I sat down that day, my mind just, on the Zoom, I had to write down the number and brought out calculator that wait. They called 600 graduating students in this place. This is hey God. And I was thinking to myself, what if she never started? And this is the third cohort. What if she never started? What if she never did? Do you know? So they run that program only once a year. So it's enough for me to have 1 point something million dollars after one program that I ran. I'll go and sit down. I'll go to Bahamas and go and chill. Because, but just so that we put things in perspective and we have like well, I'm there. Let's move on to another question, because this thing annoys me when I see visionaries that are limited. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it takes time, and conversations like this help people know that they may be missing out on something. You know, a coach that I worked with 2 years ago, one of the exercises she made me do, which continues to ring in my mind, is she asked me to write down like all the things that I wanted to achieve, like all the goals I had in front of me. And then she asked me to write what will not happen if I don't do those things. And I think that sometimes we think that not showing up, what will not happen if I don't show up, is that nobody will know me. But it might be more, because we don't even know the possibilities that exist when we show up. We don't know how whatever it is that we are showcasing, how it can become something even much more than we ever imagined. It was one of my bosses, that told me every time opportunities come, just use them as a muscle to keep building yourself. Never go to certain opportunities. Of course, I'm not saying don't ever say no to anything, but when opportunities come up, say yes, keep building. And I started sharing online about AI, Copilot, which is like my company's AI product. And now, last year, I think it was last year, I spoke at a virtual international conference. And this year, I am in about 2 weeks, I'm trying to finalize the details. I'm going to speak at another summits, international virtual summits. And who knows what can come out from there just by sharing about my work on LinkedIn. When I was sharing my work on LinkedIn, the idea was not to get called or to get invited to speak at a conference, but those are things that have come with me just showing up. So honestly, we are leaving a lot of value on the table beyond money. The lives, I love what you said about purpose, the lives that we are meant to touch, right? Those lives, some people must experience us for their lives to glorify God, for them to achieve what God has called them to become. They have to experience us. And if we keep hiding our lights under a table, that's never gonna happen. So now let's bring it back to career professionals. How can we as career professionals show up without overthinking? How can we show up authentically? How can we show up in a way that positions us as thought leaders or industry experts or whatever the case? How can we show up without us doing too much, as it were?
I'm there. In this life, you have to do too much. You have to do too much. And I remember, like, our mutual friend, I think one thing that resonated with me the most in when people were sharing feedback from my birthday was that, oh, don't you used to be quiet. I'm like, my sisters in this life, you need to snap out of yourself. You need to start. If you knew me from secondary school, you probably, some people are like, they cannot marry me with what I'm doing today. And I'm like, when your mind changes, and you know a certain truth about who you are and who your father is in this world, my sister, the way you carry yourself and the way you think about life is going to just be different. So for career professionals, I would say that practical ways on what they can do: share those wins, share those wins, share those wins. Your village people already know where you live. Share those wins. Don't care about them. They know your father's house. They know your mother's surname. These days, before when we're growing up, they'll say, don't show people's picture. They'll take it somewhere. Your picture is plastered all over Google. So if they're looking for you, they know where to find you. So please, in the name of God and everything you hold dear, share small wins as career people. Don't wait for the big ones. Maybe you just got something, even you got something done in terms of tech. It might be something that you're struggling with. I realized that in the same program that I mentioned, that we have 600 other coaches. I sit down there I'm a very observant person. I sit down there and I'm seeing all these people saying, "Oh God, help me! Oh God!" I'm checking their names. I'm seeing they don't have any social media presence. They don't have anything. You just got a that's $3,000 certification. You are saying, "God help me, my sister, wake up." So what I went there to do is to go in the group and told them, hey, my sisters, we have prayed. We spend from January till August, we pray every Monday morning in that group. Like you pray every Monday morning. It's part of being a Christian life coach. So that if you cannot hear from God, your ears will be clear. At the end of praying every Monday morning by 6 o'clock. So so what I started telling them, and I started telling people in the group, is that share those small wins. Don't wait for it. So like now you were able to set up your tech, what they taught you in class. It's a win. And what you think, like I said, what you think you know, it's a big deal to other people. In me even sharing in that group that me I finished though. Are you people still struggling with it? Do you know how many people are signed up for my coaching session from there? I say, please, I'm struggling. Oh, my sister, how much is it? Let me pay you. Come and do. Come and teach me. Come and. So, if for career people, share those small wins and don't wait for the big ones to come. Use storytelling. Storytelling. I work in brand marketing, and I've worked in brand marketing for the 16 years of my career. So, storytelling, if you frame the lessons and results instead of just titles. So, there's a way that you can position what you did like a story that is showing the benefits to me than you just posting and say, I ate rice yesterday. Lessons from eating rice yesterday is different from I ate rice yesterday. Or lessons that I learned from visiting this nice restaurant in Lagos. Lessons that I learned from eating at a party I shouldn't have. If only I said no. You can even draw career lessons from it. You can draw lessons from even when we were growing and building our career. And then you have all sorts of all those kind of stories, and you have all those things to document to show. Like today that I was telling you when we're talking about Instagram Live, I went back to my page to show you that I've been doing Instagram Live since 2018, and the records are there. So even so I was laughing. My friend said the OGs before the Gs. I said even before your face blew, I've been doing this thing. So storytelling is a way to just position whatever it is that you're saying. And all of this is not even to brag. It's just to tell, once you document, you know how to document, you know how to position what you're talking about correctly. It's enough for people to buy into your dream. I know that Shehu is here, and I know that Aramide is a board of director on this thing. If Shehu was just coming to post and posting every time and say I'm doing delivery, will you buy into that dream? But every time Cheon went on to a new level with her business, she showcased it. She kept on telling the story and continued to position for relevance. Because if you don't tell your story, who will? That thing that was it Detol or something when we were growing up that they say if you don't take care of them, who will? Like that's how it is even for your life. If you do not tell your story, who is going to tell it? Who knows the story better than you? So it's just for you to frame them into lessons and for you to frame them into ways that you're able to draw lessons and conclusions for it, and people can then see how it's relevant and the value that you're bringing. So the third thing is to build thought leadership through engagement. Comment meaningfully. Don't just post. That's a way to network online. A lot of times, most of us just come online and we are posted, we have gone. I was still saying it. I was telling Aoma when I was on a LinkedIn live, I think last Saturday, and I was telling her that I used to be that professional that would schedule my post and go. And I'm like, see, life is too busy. Why are we here commenting and be playing on LinkedIn when I've posted is enough? I said, but when she started talking about commenting strategically, doing things and all of that, I said, I've seen how people have grown their social media following. What is social media? Social media is social. You cannot meet somebody in a place and say hello and go and sit in a corner and you expect that your network will grow or you expect that your relationship will grow. But if you continue to comment, if you continue to show up in those people's, then they will start noticing you. They will start saying, oh, okay, I see you. They consider you as their they consider you as their friends online. So those are ways that we can think of, ways as career people to continue to position. Just ensure that everything that you're doing, like they say, have a brag sheet. Always have those things to come up with. Start putting lessons. Now all of us have ChatGPT. Everything you've done in your past, if you don't even know how to write, just voice it. Click that microphone thing on Copilot, on ChatGPT, on anywhere that you find that is working. Say your history. Oh, when I was growing up, I didn't know too, I wasn't too good with this subject, but I found a favorite teacher that helped me. That's a lesson. When I was growing up, or if I knew 10 things I wish I knew earlier in my career, 2 things that I think I'm going to continue to do to grow my portfolio. So when you are thinking of all those kind of things, those are stories. Those are ways that you can actually position yourself as an authority. And if you are doing something in your field, whatever it is, there are people that are, Temi is a medical doctor here, for example. She just she just launched 2 of her channels. That is also positioning herself as an authority in the field. Because if somebody sits down and nobody knows what you are doing, my sister, opportunities will continue to fly you over.
Thank you so much, Doyin. I think you've even touched on several of the questions I was going to ask. What I'm hearing you say is that stop overthinking, because technology has made it super, super easy today. I like that you mentioned Copilot. You guys, Copilot, please, I work at Microsoft. You have to be using Copilot. But technology has made things so easy. I posted yesterday, I was in a cafe and I was just on my phone. I just had a random thought, and it was just a random thought. I just put it in Copilot. I was like, make it a punchy 15 seconds video for my YouTube shorts. Because last week I posted I made a random, just very random thoughts came to my mind. And I said it, and I made a YouTube short, and I had over 1,000 views on that 15 seconds short that was not edited or anything. So I'm like, wow, technology has made it so easy. You have a random thought, put it in Copilot and tell it to craft a story for you. Or what I do is on my walk or randomly I'm cooking, I have a thought, I just pick my phone, the journal section, I just record what I'm thinking. I just say it and record it, and then I just download the transcript, put it in Copilot, and tell it to clean it up and rearrange it. And that's my first draft. I can then start making any edits that I want to make. Okay, so let me ask my next question, and then we'll open it for questions. I don't know if you have any questions on your side. I can't really see people's comments anymore, but what is one mistake that a lot of professionals make that keeps them invisible, even though they are talented?
I think that it still comes to that part of fear and not knowing how to position themselves aright. So what I've seen in recent times, I would give an example. I remember that I'd stopped my coaching business since 2018. But I woke up this year, January this year, and I've told my friends, I've told my associates, everybody close to me, when they're like, oh, okay, you started all over and all that. And I'll tell you why I started. I felt a deep sense of urgency to start and to help visionaries, people that are playing small, to spread whatever it is that God has given them to do at this time. And I was thinking I was going to ignore it, but I started praying about it, and the certification I mentioned came up. Okay, I signed up for it. Then VCAP, that I'm currently in, also on that DDK's program, was also something I signed up for. And the amount of, if you see my DM, if you see my WhatsApp questions, the amount of questions I've been getting, that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I all thought that everybody had it together. And the things that I realized was keeping people small is that I'm seeing so many brilliant people, but they were not positioning it right. So the people that they actually have the solutions to their problems don't even know they exist. So for them, and so in speaking to some of them, it's fear. In speaking to some of them, they are like, oh, they want to perfect everything. They're still waiting for everything. Oh, I want the right camera. I want the right studio. I want all of this before you start. You don't need any of those things. Stop overthinking and get over yourself. Like, you are not the reason since sliced bread why we're here online. People will forget you. People will not even remember you exist anymore. But show up as clean and as clear as you can with the best equipment that you have within you at that time and the skills that you have, and you can continue to sharpen it as your income grows, as your network grows, and the more you know and the more you do, you're just going to get better. So I think that it's fair, and inconsistency and lack of clarity of who your value is called to. I think those are one of the reasons why people just continue to stay there.
This one that you mentioned, inconsistency, I think is a problem that a lot of us have, including me. So how do I deal with, I'm asking you this question now, how do I remain consistent doing? Like, sometimes I find myself, I'm high, I'm posting, inspiration boss is coming, ideas, I'm in my creative era. And then afterwards, I just see that there's a downward spiral. So what are practical ways that can help me stay consistent with my visibility goals?
I think that I'll give examples of the people that I've seen and how they ensure that you have like a network of people. For people, if you have a dream that you want to birth, for me right now, one way that I know that I might be sleeping and I'm not even interested. Somebody said, why, like in the group where I belong to in VCAP, they were like, it looks like you're always everywhere. You're always doing every assignment and all that. I was like, don't be deceived. I schedule things so I might be sleeping when that post came up. Sometimes I wake up and I even see a post on my page because I have a social media manager. I'm not a superwoman. I'm not going to try to do it on my own. If I'm going to, since I don't even know since when I learned that thing, if I need to pay for help, I pay for help. I don't try to do anything on my own. From cooking to cleaning, there's no name that's my mother has not even said then that it's not like you have it's not like you have children that you are. I'm like, mommy, that can she do it? Can she clean it? How much is it? Let her come and clean the house. Can she cook? Let her come and cook the cook. I will not try to do anything. I'm not El Shaddai. So some of those things actually steal away from the time of the things that, because we're now overthinking, oh, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. I need to do all of those things. I outsource to where I know that my strength or my capacity is not at. And I just ensure that even if it's interns that are going to help you fulfill those things, bring them on board, sell them the dream, sell them the idea, so that the days that you are low and you do not feel like doing it, you have somebody that is there to also. And for most of us here, some of us have spouses that are already a great support system. Some of us have, I remember someone that said, she said, every time I try to do nonsense in my house, my husband will say, what did you say during your last coaching session? I said it's good that you have like somebody that is also set there as a reminder because they know your goals. So she was telling me that she almost wanted to do something else and thought that, see, I'm not going to be able to carry on to finish this thing. I'm just giving an example of that. And she said, my husband had to do the reminder that all the sessions, all the roadmap, all the things that you've worked on, why do you want to throw that? So you cannot afford to lose focus at this time. So when you have all those kind of support, it could even be your friends, it could be your family members, it could be anything. So on the days that you don't feel like doing it, there's been so many days that I go into, I have different groups for different rants. It depends on what I want to rant about. It depends on what I want to rant about. I actually do have different groups for different. I have a group for Shagamu hostel girls. I go there to go and talk what I want to talk. Inside that group, we have another group. Inside that group, that's where we're able to say. So yeah, insane. And outside of that, I have accountability groups. Help that you need to be able to fulfill all what God has called you to. We will not always be high all the time. Sometimes that's just how we are created. They call it ebbs and flows. My sister, it's not every time all of us are there, but then just support yourself with a system that continues to hold you accountable. That's it.
Thank you so much, Doyin. You talked about your coaching program. I think you should share with everybody here what you have going on at the moment and how they can work with you and how they can reach you as well, in case anybody wants to take this to the next level.
Sure, thank you, Aramde. So I have my DM is open, but outside of my DM, I have links in my bio for the programs I'm currently running. I have my brand clarity and brand transformation intensive I'm currently running. That's the only one-on-one program that I have opened right now. By December 2000 of this year, all of it is going into group coaching. I'm no longer taking one-on-one outside of those groups. And so that's also in plan. So I have that. And I also have LinkedIn for coaches that want to run away. You want to make money, but you don't want to be on social media. My sister, it is not possible. Your clients are online and you need to find them. So social media for coaches. I know that a lot of people just want to be collecting and piling up certification and they are not using it to position. So if you're struggling with all of those things, you can talk to me. I'm your girl. I can help you just position right, tell your stories correctly, and be able to position you for the opportunities that you need at this time. So use the link in my bio. And I also have a free visionary brand breakthrough workbook that can help you if you are not ready to make that investment, that you can download, and it helps you to sort through whatever is going through your mind that you want to do at this time. So yes, thank you, Aramide.
Thank you so much, Doyin. I don't know if you have questions. If you have any questions that for us to go through before, as we try to wrap up this session. I also just want to mention that I recently made a video that is focused on career professionals. I believe that as career professionals, you already have a launch pad, your job. You're not going to go and start thinking of what you've done and, sharing your wins. You already have a launch pad in your 9 to 5 job that can help you build your personal brand online. And that video tells you practical ways of, things that you can leverage from your 9 to 5 to build your personal brand. So you can check out my YouTube video. The link is also on my Instagram bio. I think as a wrap up, I would just like to say that we are Christians, both of us, Doyin and I. I've known Doyin for over almost 30 years, actually. Oh my God, I feel so old. I've known Doyin for
Oh,
that long.
that peanut butter, I'm like, no.
And Doyin has been consistent. She's been doing sessions before sessions became popular, like when nobody was doing sessions. And I really used to admire doing them because I'll see the sessions, she's putting so much effort, and there will be only 20 people. And I'm like, this girl will still show up next year. She has actually been consistent. I really celebrate you, doing for your consistency. And I tell you in private, I'm super proud of you, and you inspire me a lot. So please keep at it, and the world is your oyster. We are cities set on a hill. We cannot continue to hide our light. There are people's destinies that are tied to our light. It's funny because we pray, we go to church, we fast, and we pray against, principalities and powers. But somehow it's like we don't believe the prayers we pray, because after praying those prayers, we still go and hide, you know. So the idea of this life is, let's shine our lights. let's shine our lights. The Bible says, for the arise and shine, you know, for the glory of the Lord is upon you. The glory of God is upon you, and no weapon. I put it on my Instagram stories. I said, what I do know is that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me shall be condemned in Jesus' name. So let's show up fearlessly. Let's show up intentionally. Let's show up without overthinking. Let's shine our lights. Doing final words before we end the live session.
So the final word from me is your brand is built when you show up consistently. Consistently compounds. It's like a muscle. If you continue to use it, then it becomes, there are times that in my previous, when I was starting up, there were mistakes I've made that made me shrink back. But now that I know better, I do better. Confidently, I'm showing up. I'm thinking to myself, see, if you make mistake and people give you feedback, it's for you to build on and to get things to work on. Because before then, I'm a very emotional person. When you say something to me like this, I'll think of it 1 million times over and think, what did I do like that this person? But what I realized that it stops your journey, it stops you in your track if you continue to. And I listen to people these days, and I've seen those people that have built consistently. I've seen the results. So that part of us playing so small, we are losing time, we are losing resources, we are losing network, we're losing whatever possibility it is that we could have become. I remember, and I would close with that even in the face of fear, I remember the first time before YouTube became YouTube. This was 2012. And my pastor called me to the side then and asked me to start YouTube. I said, God, what will I be saying? Like, if I'd taken that idea, think of people that have grown YouTube now. I'm not going to be coming and say, welcome to my YouTube channel at this age of my big 40. Like, I would have built, that would have been like 14 years that I've built on something. And it would have been, so some of those things, as Aramide said, that there are things we are losing without us even knowing. There are opportunities we've missed out on, and you will continue to do. So please, in the name of God, build consistently. Your brand is something like consider it a building. Continue to layer it. Visibility compounds. It's like a muscle. Continue to use it. If you exercise, none of us want to be bent in our old age that we cannot move our knees. That's why some of us are exercising and eating right. Continue to do it also for your brand. Continue to slap the paint on it. Continue to slap the cement on it. Just consider that everything that you're doing is for you to be able to stack up for the next thing that God is bringing your way. And if you fail at the very little, I don't know how much more that you want to do. It's like the parable of the talents. When one person that had one went to hide it, and some people continue to build. When we get back to go and account for our life on earth, what do we want to tell God with the time that we spent here? So if you think of it in that light, you'll learn to do better. So thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Doyin, and thank you everyone for joining. I hope you gained a few things. I took a lot from the conversation. And thank you so much, Doyin, for jumping on this with me at very short notice. I'm so glad that we're able to do this. From Aramide Balogun Studios, I want to say good night and see you on my next live, because I'm definitely going to do this again. So thank you all for joining, and see you next time. Bye.